What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again for another BFR. So, back after the All-Star break, DeBrincat had a very good All-Star game, 1 goal, 2 assists, and it was pretty good overall for him. David Kaplan interviewed Danny Wirtz in the pregame, so that was a very interesting conversation. Kaplan's a sports talk guy here in Chicago. Really like him, listen to him on the radio every morning, so I'm a very good guy to listen to. February 9th at 7 p.m., the Hawks would change the season for the Edmonton Oilers, as since this game, Dave Tippett, head coach of the Oilers, has been fired, as the Hawks beat the Oilers in Edmonton 4-1 and moved to 17-23-7. They get outshot 41-30, so good night for Fleury. Hits were 20-14 for Edmonton as well, and more face-offs to Edmonton, 25-16. On the power play, Hawks go 2 for 4, Edmonton 1 for 4. Edmonton has the third best power play in the league, and Chicago is nowhere near that. So it was kind of like everything was reversed today. Fleury saves 40 out of 41, Smith saves 26 out of 30, and let's get right into this. So the Hawks have interviewed 6 GM candidates as this time of the game. Galvis was in, Gustafson was out, Kalnick was out, and Caleb Jones was in, so a bit of switching on defense. Slavin was in, Connolly out, Taze is still out, and there would be some questionable people after the end of this game, as there were quite a few. It was a pretty, I want to say nasty, there was some nastiness, but pretty injury-filled game. So early in the first, a DeBrincat chance missed, and then at 18:45, it's an Edmonton penalty to Nugent Hopkins for tripping. Prior to that, there'd be a Hyman post in the first minute, so very close for Zach Hyman. And on that power play for the Hawks, at 29 seconds into it, at 18:16, it's a great pass from Kane, and it's a one-timer. Chicago power play goal to Alex DeBrincat, his 27th of the year, right off his All-Star appearance, from Kane and Strome to make it 1-0. And then the Hawks come right back. A minute and 3 seconds later, it's a 3-on-2 with Caleb Jones, Hagel, and DeBrincat. And then Doc's following up the rear as well. So it's about a 4-on-2. Then at 17-13, it's a Chicago goal from Brandon Hagel, his 13th of the season. Great season from him. From DeBrincat and Doc to make it 2-0. So Doc gets on the board tonight, gets an assist, gets a goal. Very good for him. Maybe he can get things going here and making the season worth it. He's going to be an RFA this summer, so is Strome, so is Kubalik, so the Hawks have some questions to deal with. As the Fleury contract, if they bring him back, that could be more money. And Lankinen's a UFA as well, Fleury. Seth Jones' big contract kicks in, which increases $4 million. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the Hawks do this offseason. In the first minute, then at 15:56, the Chicago penalty to Seth Jones for slashing, which would be killed, but that first minute was extremely dangerous. I couldn't believe Edmonton didn't score on that. Puck gets stuck in McCabe's pants. Both teams have a laugh about that. Smith, good save on an awkward bounce. Chicago was controlling play. Smith absolutely robs Strome on a great pass from Hagel and Kane. Duncan Keith was down. He went flying into the boards, and as a Hawks fan, he's played in Chicago for 16 years. He didn't get up. His eyes were closed. It looked like it was awful. It looked like it hit his shoulder. He did not return to the game. He's in concussion protocol for 2 to 4 weeks as of the latest. All prayers go to Keith, and I have posters on my wall, one right up there, got him behind the camera, and so he's pretty iconic in my life. Yeah, he was helped to the bench. Both teams were clapping. Obviously, the Hawks are going to be loyal to Keith. He was there for so long. So Strome chance missed, and then Fleury was sharp early, and then Edmonton was starting to control play by the end of the period. And then in the second, the Hawks have horrible second periods. The Hawks always seem to struggle in the second period. They'll get outshot. They'll come out well in the first, and the second period they just get destroyed. Then at 15:45, it's a Chicago penalty to Murphy for high sticking, which was an awful call because it wasn't even his stick that hit the face, but it's not even whatever. And of course, on that power play, it'd be a 13:57 at Edmonton power play goal from Leon Draisaitl, his 30th, tying for a league lead with Chris Kreider, 33rd on the season from Evander Kane and McDavid. Bouchard hit the crossbar on that. Oilers chance denied. Oilers were controlling in the second. There was a great save on Hyman. Evander Kane was then robbed, which would lead to the Draisaitl goal. Cassian then took a slap shot to the face. He was okay. He's one of the few players that doesn't wear a visor, so it's always more dangerous when he's, say, it's a puck in the face. Doc was hit in the face on a follow-through on that Edmonton goal, so he had to go to the locker room for a bit. He would come back, though. Then at 11:28, it's an Edmonton penalty from Evander Kane for boarding, which would be killed. It was a vicious hit on Hagel, but I agreed it was only 2 minutes. It shouldn't have been more than that. So it was a 2-minute penalty, would be killed. And then DeBrincat and Doc had chances that were saved, and then Draisaitl was saved, and then a Yamamoto chance near the end of the period would be saved. But the Oilers had completely taken over, and the Oilers had nearly doubled the shots as the Hawks after 32-18. But before the end of the period at 5:39, it's a Chicago penalty to Caleb Jones for holding, which would be killed. Not a great call. He wasn't holding him at all. Just from the viewpoint, the multiple viewpoints the camera showed, it wasn't a hold whatsoever. But then we go to the third, which starts with a scrum, and then at 19:12 an Edmonton penalty to Draisaitl for interference, which was not only a cheap shot, but it might have been the stupidest play you could have made. DeBrincat nowhere near the puck. Draisaitl just runs him over for whatever reason. I still don't know what he was thinking on that play. And that would cost his team, because at 18:52 Chicago regains the 2-goal lead. And that's 20 seconds into the power play, and it's a power play deflection goal from Dylan Strome, his 8th of the season from Jones and DeBrincat. So Strome getting 2 points, Doc getting 2 points. Some of their younger players now getting into it. It's the way they have success. I want Strome to get going, see if he can be moved at the deadline for something valuable, like third-round pickup. If he gets really hot, that'd be great. Then DeHaan had a great shift on defense, poking and blocking. Murphy was checked to the head, no call behind the play. Then at 14:54, it's a Chicago penalty to Lafferty for interference, which would be killed. And then at 10:24, it's a Chicago goal to Kirby Dach to make it 4-1, his 7th of the season from Hagel and McCabe to make it 4-1. Then we would have a scrum because Kane went after Caleb Jones, and then he slashed and high-sticked Fleury in the face with about 20 seconds to go. And then Entwistle had a breakaway that nearly happened, but it was stopped before he could. That because of the scrum that Evander Kane would cause at 17.1 seconds, it's an Edmonton penalty to Evander Kane for slashing. And the announcers called Evander Kane a coward, and that might have been the greatest thing that happened this game. And so the Hawks takeaways from this game. Good win against Edmonton. They're struggling right now. See if they can turn it around with their new coach, who is, I believe, their AHL affiliates team. The Hawks always struggle in second periods, but other than that, that's all I have for you guys today. Good win from Chicago. See if they can get a run here going. They don't play again until Saturday now against St. Louis, I believe, and then they play Monday. I want to say it's Florida or Dallas. I cannot remember. But nothing really changing in the standings from before the break. Vegas gets shut out Edmonton the night prior, so it was a back-to-back for Edmonton. They get shut out at home, and then the Hawks come in and beat them. Then Vegas got shut out 6-0 by Calgary today, or last night. So crazy night around the league. Arizona beats Seattle in a battle of the worst teams in the West. And the Islanders scored 5 goals in the first. Their offense appeared finally at last against Vancouver. So very unique night around the league. But that's all I have for you guys today, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.